Hey guys, welcome back to Appalachian Cemetery Hunting, and we hope that you have had a great start to 2025. This is going to be our 7th video on the cemeteries in the Smoky Mountains of Sevier County, Tennessee. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Ownby and Parton cemeteries. First, we're going to look at the Ownby Cemetery, and the first burial here was in 1878. Now, the map showing that this cemetery is located close to the southwestern part of Gatlinburg. So I'm going to give you just a few seconds to look at it. Now, there's only 20 people buried here, so let's see who they are. We got Mary Elvira Polly Trentham Bradley, 1829 to 1907. And we have a picture of her. Then we have Wayne Bradley, 1914 to 1931. Stephen Wesley Cole, 1869 to 1941, and his wife, Charitza Hammer Reagan Cole, 1873 to 1957, and that was a hard name. Next, we have Fred Homer Cole, 1901 to 1928. Ephraim Ogle, 1850 to 1933, with his wife Mary Ann Reagan Ogle, 1851 to 1931. Then we have James Elmer Ogle, 1894 to 1953, and his wife Ruth Magdalene Cole Ogle, 1903 to 1971. And next, here's another unusual name or unique name is Pinckney Ownby, 1858 to 1936, and his wife Isabel Whaley Ownby, 1863 to 1941. And he was a pastor, but we have no more information on which church that he served at. So if anybody's out there that knows any more information, I'd like to know that and share it with us. We'd appreciate that. Okay, so next we have Minyard Ownby, 1888 to 1969. And this is a picture of his delayed birth certificate, but there's no photo of his grave. Then we have George Luther Parton, 1888 to 1946. Rosanna Elvira Ogle Parton, 1859 to 1942. Bruce Mack Reagan, 1883 to 1956, with his wife Myrtle A. Cole Reagan, 1889 to 1955. Next is Lewis Reagan, 1868 to 1900. And next we have Richard Reason Reagan, 1830 to 1912. And he served as a commissary sergeant for Company E of the 2nd Tennessee Cavalry in the Union Army during the Civil War. And here's a photo of him. He was a Justice of the Peace for many years, as well as a tax collector, county sheriff from 1870 to 1874, and also a postmaster from 1871 to 1883. Next we have his second of 4 wives, Martha Hurst Reagan, 1834 to 1878, and this is a picture of them. And that will probably finish off our look at the Ownby Cemetery. So now let's look at the Parton Cemetery. The first burial here was in 1906. This map shows the cemetery's location east of Gatlinburg, off of Highway 321 on Greenbrier Road. I'll give you some time to look at it. Now there's only 21 people buried here, so let's see who's here. we got Essie Parton Bridges, 1876 to 1927. And we found a photo of her death certificate, and it states that she died from pellagra. Now, that's the first time I've ever heard of this. Pellagra was caused by a lack of vitamin B3 in her diet. So you see that on a death certificate for all you ancestry hunters and stuff. Pellagra is a vitamin B3 deficiency. And we have no picture of her gravesite. Next, we have Lewis Lawson, 1906 to 1943. His death certificate, pictured here, states that he died of pneumonia as a result of the flu, which is scary because we just got over the flu. He was employed by the Tennessee Valley Authority, and there's no picture of his grave. Then we have Eliza G. Parton Loveday, 1867 to 1906, and her husband, Samuel Henry Loveday, 1860 to 1916. Then we have Melinda Parton McCarter, 1865 to 1937, and her death certificate says that she died of cervical cancer. Then we have Mary B. Polly Whaley Ownby, 1873 to 1950, and she died from pneumonia. Next is Mitchell B. Ownby, 1872 to 1943, and his death certificate says he died from liver cancer. Next is Benjamin Christenberry, or Chris, as he's known, Parton, 1832 to 1916. Now, he served as a private in Company K of the 9th Tennessee Cavalry in the Union Army during the Civil War. And here's a picture of him. Now we have his wife, Margaret Jane Evans Parton, 1837 to 1915, and here's a picture of her. Now, according to Find a Grave, where we get a lot of our sources, these are the great-great-grandparents of Dolly Parton. And if you don't know who Dolly Parton is, I don't know what to tell you, because she's very popular, especially around this area. So this is her second great-grandparents, which is really cool. Okay, so next we have Carl Parton, 1890. We don't know the death date. His headstone looks pretty worn here. Then we have Martha Schultz Parton, 1847 to 1919, and her death certificate states that she died from consumption, which is also called tuberculosis. Next is Minyard Parton. We don't know the birth date, but the death date is 1915, and you can barely make out the 1915 in the upper corner. And you'll notice the stone is also hand-carved. Then we have Richard Parton, 1842 to 1937. Now, there's no picture of his grave, but he served as a private in Company M of the 10th Tennessee Cavalry in the Union Army during the Civil War. Now, this is a picture of his mustard sheet when he first joined the cavalry. And this is a photo of his discharge papers. Next, we have Elijah W. Whaley, 1852 to 1920. His death certificate says that he died of dropsy of the heart, or as we call it today, heart failure. Now, there's 7 graves without any pictures, and they're Marvin Lawson Fish, 1913 to 1957, Albert Catlett Husky, 1885 to 1963, Lee Leonius Husky, 1889 to 1949, Albert Houston Parton, 1865 to 1929. And according to another source, he was the great-grandfather of Dolly Parton. So she has her great-great and great-grandfathers buried here. Next, we have Benjamin Andrew Parton, 1873 to 1925. Carl Roy Parton, February the 19th of 1920 to March 31st of 1920. And he only lived for about a month and a half. And the last one we have is Martha Violet Parton, 1916 to 1935. So I'm pretty sure, according to our sources, that this is a lot of Dolly Parton's ancestors here. Okay, so we're going to finish looking at these guys, and we hope that you like this video. I know it's not a very long video, but you still find a lot of history in these little cemeteries here. So, hit the like and subscribe button as always. Share it. Help me get my videos up there and out there to the people who's looking for ancestors. That's what I do it for. So we really appreciate y'all. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.